Alright, Quadcopter 101 here. It's a pretty much windless day here at Satellite Lake, so I'm just going to play with my MJX X400 and do some high-speed passes with it, play with the auto flip feature on it, see if I can come up with new tricks. I'm going to try diagonal flips, see if that works today. So hope you enjoy the flight. I'm just having fun with the Quadcopter today. Okay, Quadcopter's been bound. I got that cheap force power battery in there again. I like that battery because it's lighter than the stock battery, so I can do more maneuverability, or get more maneuverability out of the Quadcopter, I feel. I'm in intermediate mode. I'm going to stay there until I get out in the field, then I'll switch to expert and we'll do some auto flipping. So enjoy your flight. Great Quadcopter. Okay, I'm going to expert. Let's try the auto flip. Ooh. Hold on, landing gear came off. Going to beginner. Come here, you. I should have trimmed that too. I can land that. No, I don't want to land on that dirt. That dirt is dirty. I don't want to get dirt in the gears. Okay. That's a point I wanted to bring up. Although this Quadcopter has coverings over its gears, if you hit the ground with these things, dirt gets in there and stays in there, accumulates in there. With that in mind, you have to learn how to take this gear case off. The way to do it, first off, you have to push or remove this big screw here, and then grasp with your fingers both sides and push the entire motor pod off of the main Quadcopter, because there's a third screw in there that you got to get at. And then you can remove this screw and this screw, but you're still not done. You have to also remove this screw and this screw from the motor case, and then you gain access to this tiny little screw that's in here that removes the motor pod, or the gearbox pod, and then you can just pry that off easily. But after you remove that tiny screw that I told you about that's inside there, leave it removed. Don't reinstall it. It's not necessary, and it just complicates removing this pod, removing the gearbox case. And if you leave that screw off and then reassemble again, all you need to do is remove these two screws to gain access to get in there to clean your gears if needed. Okay, let's go back to flying again. I'm going to rebind just to make sure that this thing's bound. And go to intermediate mode, and let's go flying again. Going to expert. I got to get a little more altitude to do those flips than that. Backflip. Oh, it does backflips really well. And forward flip. Let's try that again. Backflip. Let's try back diagonal flip. I wonder what it'll do there. Back diagonal now. Barrel roll. That's what it does. Back diagonal gives you a barrel roll. Oh. Okay, I'm going to come down a little lower. Get some speed to do that. So I haven't seen very many people get this yet. I don't know why. It's a fun quad. But again, let me just stress that one more time. You really got to spin those props by hand on this, because if you do crashes into the ground, it will gather dirt in there. You know, the dirt gets inside those pods so easily. And you do not want to fly with dirt in your pods. That would be very bad. You'll burn out a motor, and then you'll see people complaining about burned out motors. I try to stress that over and over again to people. You see a lot of people complaining about burned out motors. And what they don't fail to mention is they've never spun their props by hand to check for dirt. And on top of that, a lot of them are flying with batteries that are twice the milliampere hour and twice the weight of the stock battery. You guys know who you are. So your quad will last a lot longer if you do those two things. Don't overburden it, and always spin your props by hand before flight. Now I'm going to get a lot of hate mail for that. I'm sorry, but I just had to say that. How's my batteries holding at? They're not blinking yet. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, auto flip can be tricky. Okay, no more auto flip. That means my batteries are getting low. Go ahead and back to intermediate. Just do simple flying. By the way, have I mentioned how much I like this quadcopter? Yeah, my batteries are blinking. Let's bring you in. Beginner. Actually, that's advanced. Beginner. Okay, now I had a couple contacts with the ground there. Just making sure. Okay, there's no binding, that's good. But there's still some dirt. I noticed scuff marks on my pod. So when I get home, I'm going to blow some air in there and make sure it stays clear. Okay, that was my MJX X400 here at Satellite Lake. Hope you enjoyed today's flight. Quadcopter 101, signing out.